1962 crashed UFO recovered in New Mexico. In 1962, an alien UFO crashed in New Mexico. The disc and alien bodies were recovered by the U.S. military and transported to an unknown military base. We also have a short bonus story from 1962 where a U.S. Navy captain accidentally saw a UFO in the custody of a military base. Tommy Bland has interviewed an Air Force colonel who claims to have been present during the recovery of a crashed disc and humanoid occupants in northern New Mexico in the summer of 1962. According to Colonel X, the craft looked like two saucers and on end, was of a dull aluminum color, had a dark section around the center, and was about 30 feet in diameter and 12 feet high. Bland was told that there was no noticeable landing gear and that the craft had apparently skidded on impact, digging up a small trench. Colonel X said that a team of 8 men was at the site wearing jumpsuits and gas masks, and that each had a specific task to perform. Only preliminary analysis is conducted at retrieval sites, the colonel stated, and went on to describe the scene further. There were 2 bodies recovered from the craft, and they were put in a large unmarked silver van and whisked off. I did not get a good look at the bodies, however. They looked small and were dressed in silver, skin-tight flight suits. They were taken to Holloman AFB, as well as the craft, and then sections of the craft were sent to various research labs, including Los Alamos laboratories. I believe the bodies were also taken to Los Alamos and samples sent to other locations. Colonel X revealed that underground installations, as well as isolated areas of military reservations, have squadrons of unmarked helicopters with sophisticated instrumentation, which are dispatched to monitor areas of UFO activity or airlift them out of the vicinity in the event of a malfunction. Tommy Bland asked the colonel about the many rumors that crashed discs and bodies were sent to Wright-Patterson AFB. In the earlier years, he replied, they had taken some bodies to this base, but later it depended on where they were found. They had a hell of a time setting up procedures for this operation, as well as getting craft out of the area without it being observed. Usually, this was done at night time. Colonel X told Bland he believed that in more recent years, the bodies were flown outside the U.S. to a secret naval installation on island in the Pacific. The reference to special squadrons of unmarked helicopters is intriguing and has been substantiated on numerous occasions, most significantly perhaps in the case of Betty Cash and Vicky and Colby Landrum, who saw about 23 helicopters escorting an unidentified flying object near Huffman, Texas, on the 29th of December 1980. Leonard Stringfield has learned from several sources that this unit is, or was called the Bluebeats, and has personally spoken with one of the former members of this elite group, who confirmed that one of its tasks was to assist in UFO retrieval operations. On a side note, Tommy Bland and Leonard Stringfield were able to contact a former U.S. Navy test pilot, now a commercial pilot, identified as PJ, who together with other Navy pilots inadvertently came across a saucer-shaped aircraft guarded at Wright-Patterson AFB in 1962. In April of that year, while temporarily attached to the 354th TAC Fighter Wing as an exchange pilot, the 352nd Tactical Fighter Squadron was sent to Wright-Patterson AFB on a hurricane evacuation from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. As flight commander of the B-Flight Bluebirds, it was PJ's custom to keep his men physically and mentally fit by organizing a program of running, touch football or handball. On the first day, as PJ led his flight crew of 5 on a running exercise through the base, the group came across an extraordinary sight. PJ related to Stringfield. As we crossed 2 baseball fields, we approached the first hangar, which, without hesitating, we guessed was the Special Services hangar. We busted through both doors on a full sprint to look for the equipment room to check out for gear. Once inside, we were stunned by dead silence and were approached by an air police sentry with a submachine gun. Standing about 8 feet away was a strange-looking object. It was about 12 to 15 feet long and 8 feet deep and resembled two plates stuck together. It was suspended off the ground by two engine test stands. There were no markings or insignia, but most noticeable, it was without rivets. The object was roped off and 8 guards stood parade rest around it. The guard challenged by saying, "I don't think you're supposed to be here, sir." I replied in the affirmative, and we turned about face. Once outside, we had reassured each other that the good old US had developed, or had all along, flying saucers in service. On our return to Myrtle Beach, IFB, a week later, I was requested to report to the Brigadier General of the Combat Wing. He informed me that I had broken security. He only asked one question: "What did you see?" My reply was, "Nothing." His answer was, "You have the right answer to the question," and I was dismissed. Having a top secret clearance enabled me to gain valuable information that otherwise would be impossible to obtain. For a brief 30 seconds, we saw a disc-shaped object of metallic color. I cannot confirm anything other than it was there. PJ was puzzled by the relative lack of security. It wasn't even located in the test facility of Wright-Patterson AFB, he said. It was near the flight line, having just arrived or awaiting deployment. That is just my guess. My take, it just goes to show that even super advanced aliens are prone to mistakes that cause them to crash and die. Resources above top secret, Timothy Good, 1988.
Don't forget to sign up for our Patreon page. Members get early access to videos, ad-free, and you can see content you can't see anywhere else.